Hi everybody, this is Madhvi from TaroticallySpeaking.com, and today I have a pretty interesting video for you guys, especially you guys who go onto these free reading websites and clickety click, select a few cards, and then boom, you have a reading. Fantastic. And then you're like, oh my god, what's going on? What does this how does this apply to me? Because on the screen right next to the card are a bunch of meanings, a whole lot of meanings, and you're like, I just want to know if he's gonna ask me out, and now I have all this. What does that mean? Does it even apply to me? And what are they trying to say? Where is everything going to happen to me? So the short answer, no, not everything that is written about that card is going to happen to you. But now, how do you figure out, especially if you are a total newbie, how do you figure it out? How do you say, okay, this is the one sentence or this is the one statement that applies to me? Right. And I think that this video is also kind of applicable for people who are in the interim stages of learning also, because then again on the screen we have a bunch of meanings, and then the eternal question, which meaning applies to the question that has been asked. And I guess it's all about context. Really, it is. Say it out loud after me. It's all about the context, right? Context. Every single reading that you will pull in your life, whether you are into tarot or not into tarot, every single reading will have to be interpreted within the bounds of the context of that particular reading. So there is a step-by-step approach, and I don't know if especially the people who are maybe not interested in figuring out the tarot card meanings and all, that's fine. I guess I can give you a straightforward approach to figure out what applies to you. Okay. And for the people who are, say, learning in the interim stages or who have already learned, you guys don't go to website, do you? So anyway, the learners and the total newbies, I guess this video is for you guys. How to decipher the meanings, especially when you go to these websites and say, you do a online thingy, and then how do you do that? How do you decipher that? And as I said before earlier, and I will keep saying again and again, it's all about the context. So first thing, step one, look at the card, look at the story of the card. Now, the newbies might want to disregard this step, I guess, because if you're not into learning the tarot, not right yet anyways, then it's okay. But the interim learners or the learners might want to go check out my card story video, which I'll link up here somewhere and you can go check it out. It's a very simple, straightforward process, which I have talked about in quite a lengthy video. Anyway, the point is, it's a straightforward process, and you can get to the card's story using that process. That is step one. What is the card story? And once you get that, you kind of distill that into one sentence and say, okay, this is the core meaning of the card. Now, for the people who are the total newbies, there are various resources online where they will give you a card and they will give you a couple of meanings or keywords for that card. All right. To make your life easier, I know you don't want to learn the tarot, that's fine, but to make your life easier, just make sure you have that open in another window on your browser or something, so that you can sort of refer to it Okay, in any case, the spread that you pull will probably be 3 cards, 5 cards, 7 cards, whatever. So it's not like you're going to learn the whole 78 cards of the tarot in one go. So it's just, it'll be helpful if you have those keywords around, because that'll help you, right? The idea is to get to the core concept that the card embodies, right? That's basically step one. Okay, so the learners can do it via the card story. The newbies can do it via a Google search, and you basically get to the core concept of each card, what it is all about. Once you know that, step two, you have to look at the spread position. Yep, that's important. Why? Because each card in a different spread position will, the meaning will slightly alter or change. So, for example, let's just take our Fool card. The total newbies, if you just Google search the Fool card meaning, you'll get something like new beginnings or leap of faith. Fantastic, let's go with that, right? The card story people also will ultimately arrive at the same core meaning. This is a beginning where a leap of faith is kind of part of the process. And if you want to go a little creative, obviously, because why not card story, that's what I'm all about. Look at him, he's standing at the edge of the cliff. He is lost in his dreams. He's going to take that big leap of faith. He doesn't know how it's going to end up. There is absolutely no knowledge of the consequence, right? That is the sort of core energy of this card, right? A leap of faith where you absolutely have no idea how it's going to end up, no idea of the consequence of that leap of faith. Fantastic. Now, if this card comes up, say, a typical past, present, future spread, then this is, you could say, oh, in the past this happened, or in the present this is happening, or in the future this is going to happen. Fantastic. Past, present, future is easy. What happens is when you have more complicated spreads than that, say this one comes up as an advice or a guidance, straightforward, you can say, okay, the cards are saying take that leap of faith, right? Don't worry about the consequence, just go for it. Or if you get that little feeling, sometimes it might be the other way around in the advice or guidance space. If this card comes up and you get a very weird, eerie feeling in the pit of your stomach when you see this card, and you're like, oops, the cards are saying don't do that. Usually when that happens, the card might come up reverse. Okay, the card might, that's kind of the clue usually for me. But for those of you who don't use reverse cards, you need to listen to your body. All right, that's where the intuition sometimes comes from. Listen to your body, listen to the the immediate response when you open the card. And for the total newbies, again, look at the card. What feeling does it give you, especially in light of the core meaning? And it's coming up in the advice or guidance space, or in that spread position. Again, listen to your body. Really, that's the best clue. What is the first thing you feel or first reaction you get when you look at this image and you're like, that's scary? Oh yeah. Or you get like, oh my god, yeah, let's do this. That's the energy you go for, especially with the advice or guidance. What other positions are there? Hopes and fears, right? So this is your fear, this is your hope, or this is this is another position, hopes and fears, where if, let's say, you get the Fool card, which is all about taking the leap of faith where you don't know the consequence. So that's kind of your fear. You are afraid, you don't know what the consequence is, and you still have that feeling, that gut instinct to just take that leap of faith. So that's your hope and your fear all rolled into one. So you see what I'm doing here? The core meaning remains the same. The spread position now colors the core meaning in its own sort of light, and now you get a different shade of that core meaning and you interpret that. Okay, Now that was all step 2. And the final step is step 3, is what was the question that you had asked? Because hey, that's why you went on that site and clicked on all those thingies and pulled out this reading. What was this question? Let's say if this is a question about a relationship. Let's say you already are in a relationship. Now this card, the Fool card, if you already are in a relationship, then could it be that in, let's say, in the advice or guidance position, this card comes up and does it say, oh, just take that leap of faith, go to the next level, don't worry about the consequence? That could be one explanation. Or let's say, because you know the truth, let's say there is some other guy lurking in the picture, some other girl, lurking in the story, and you want to actually, you pull the cards out because you're like, how's my current relationship going? Should I, keep going with that, or should I, look at the other person? And you get this card. What is the feeling? Do you feel like, that okay, then maybe you should take that leap of faith? Maybe you are being pulled or being attracted to that other person for a reason. Take that leap of faith. That can happen. Let's say it's a job related question, and this card comes up in the hopes and fears position, right? So if this is, you already have a job and you're like, oh my god, how is it gonna go? And this card comes up and you're like, okay, so that new project that's coming to me, I shouldn't really think much about it. I should just go for it because it looks like I might just have a good time regardless of how it all ends up. Or you've been offered a job, you've gone on several interviews, you've been offered a job, and this card shows up in the hopes and fears. Now that clearly says, you really want to take that job. It's something that is pulling you, drawing you in, but you absolutely have no idea what the consequences are going to be. Will it be worth it? Will it be good? Now obviously you're not going to be doing readings in isolation, so there will be other cards in that spread to give you more information. But just to know, with this one card, I'm just giving you an example of how you can take this one card and put it through its paces and arrive at the interpretation which is just right for you. All right, so when you do go on a website, remember, context is everything. When you go on these reading websites and start doing the readings over there, and then you have all these meanings show up on the screen, you're like, which one applies to me? Do this exercise, right? Again, to reiterate, step 1, go to the card story or go to the keyword list of keywords and get to what is the core meaning of that card. Step 2, what is the spread position? So take that core meaning and look at it now in light of the spread position that you've pulled it in. And step 3 is, what's your question? Now take that meaning that you have arrived at step 2 and look at it in the light of the question that you have asked, and voila, you have the interpretation that was meant just for you. And all this time when you're doing this, pay attention to your body's reactions. And I'm not kidding you here. Your body tells you somehow in a very subtle way. It's your intuition. Sometimes it's the first thought that pops in your head when you see the card. Sometimes it's the responses, you get that weird feeling in your stomach, or you get goosebumps, or you get that like, so your heart starts beating a little faster, something. There's always a reaction. So be more aware of what goes on there, because in those very subtle ways, your body and your intuition and your subconscious and all of it is trying to communicate with you. So regardless of whether you want to learn the tarot or whether you are one of the the learners of tarot, this system is going to work for you even if you go to these websites and pull up readings. Obviously, as a professional tarot card reader, I will always say free readings they can go only so far, especially the website ones. Even with this system, can go only so far. But a proper consultation with a tarot card reader is obviously always better, because you get to have a conversation, you get to have a bit of a discussion, and then you can really delve into the question. I mean, a free reading, sure, it'll give you a lot of things to go with, but if you want really in-depth and to the point and really deep answers, nothing beats an actual reading. Okay, let's do a few quick examples here. A few typical questions that often come, or we are really curious about, and we get onto these websites or whatever to do. It's like, oh, relationship or job search, what's gonna happen, that kind of a thing. So I'm gonna take a couple of those typical example questions and do this. Okay, all right. So let's say you are in a relationship and you want to know how it's going to go. That would be choosing the right question, obviously. The right spread for your question is kind of part of the story. So you say, okay, you want to know how it's going to end up. So it's like a progression of events, past, present, future reading. Okay, so past, present, future for the relationship. And we have 7 of Wands reversed in the past. So this relationship definitely was a whole lot of work. Now, see, in the past, the tarot people already know 7 of Wands. The meaning of this card is being overwhelmed, right? So the keyword for the total newbies, the ones who have who don't know what the 7 of Wands is, if just look at the picture, all these wands coming at him, and he's just standing there trying with that one wand, trying to do this whole thing, fight them off. So he's overwhelmed. Okay, that's the meaning. Reversed, he that overwhelm really gets to him, right? So this relationship, to begin with, and now it's in the position of the past. So before, this is the past before the client comes to you for the reading. In the past, this relationship was a whole lot of work, and it really, really pulled you down. And that's probably why you're here doing a reading. You're like, is it even worth it? Right? This relationship takes a lot of work. So what's going on in the present? You have 9 of Pentacles, and so right now things are looking okay, right? So all this hard work seems to have paid off, really. The 9 of Pentacles, this card really means independent woman, okay? Or a woman who is literally enjoying and living in the lap of luxury that she has created. So since we connect the people with the client, so while this relationship did overwhelm you and drag you down in the past, today you are enjoying the fruits of that relationship. You're enjoying the benefits of that relationship, and it looks like you are in a good place. Okay, so how does this story end up? That was the feeling too, because this woman is an independent woman. See, it looks like, now see this picture, he's put everything over here in this boat and he's rowing away. Looks like this relationship might go on for some time, but won't last long, right? There's a lot of that. Swords are all about mind baggage here. And so it looks like, you might just realize this is a lot of work. You might strike out on your own and sort of establish your independence and actually enjoy that independence. That's probably where you are at right now. Maybe you're just hanging on to that relationship, as a legacy kind of relationship. That's that's one of the very software words, legacy. But what I'm trying to say is that you've been in that relationship, you've put in so much effort, and you're like, shouldn't I take advantage of all the effort I put in? But you know what, you're doing better on your own. It looks like that way. And then so you're going to move on, you're going to move past this, and you're going to go to a better place. But there's going to be a lot of stuff that you will need to deal with. to be completely free. There's going to be a lot of mind baggage that you carry with you. So in order for you to completely enjoy this space that you're in right now, you need to be able to, you need to free your mind and deal with the mental baggage. So looks like this relationship is not going to end up in a romantic happily ever after ending, but that's okay, that's life. All right, but see, this is how you would interpret it. Okay, now uh okay, now let's pull another one for a relationship question, because why not? So instead of an ongoing relationship, let's say you have a girl who comes in and says, I'm single now, I've been single for a while, so, is there romance in my near future? So you pick a time frame, you put that time frame in your question, and let's say, oh, is there a romance in my future in the next 6 months? So past, present, and future. So let's see. Past, we have the moon card, right? So as she said, she's been single for a while, and there's a good reason. The moon is also a card which, sorry, excuse me, which talks about your inner fears, right? And it talks about inward journeys, a lot of shadow stuff also there. So moon, right, in the past, she's been really, really withdrawn. She's really spent time by herself, and she's really, maybe she's dealing with a lot of internal fears and other stuff. She's maybe scared for some reason to get into a relationship. So now, what's going on in the present? We have the Empress reversed. Wow. Right? So the Empress is all about regaining your feminine qualities, right here, because she really thrives in the feminine element and in the creative element and in the abundant, prosperous space that the Empress sort of embodies. Empress is the mother goddess, the creativity. But in reverse, it indicates that she's not quite there yet. I mean, so even if she's here asking about will there be romance, she isn't very completely ready for a romance. So if a guy pops up right here, right now, she is going to be very confused about how to handle it. I mean, she'll probably do something, but it will not be like completely, her energies are not completely in sync yet. Still this time, because these are two major arcana cards, so there's a lot of work in, going on behind the scenes on a very energetic spiritual level. So what happens in the future? Ooh, Ace of Cups. This is the cup of joy, right? This is the cup of happiness overflowing. So yeah, I mean, if this girl walks up to you and says, so in the next 6 months, is there a romance in my future? Looks possible, but you're not ready yet. Maybe towards the end of that 6 month period, you might see, if the romance coming in. Because see, this Ace of Cups is also about discovering the true happiness within, which probably is what is lacking over here in the Empress reverse. So once that sort of gets sorted, you're well on your way, and yep, romance will surely definitely pop up. So there's a lot of happiness and joy happening. Again, notice the water, right? It's all about the feelings. Even in the Empress, there's that, you see that, the waterfall. Okay, I know, I can't help myself. I know this video, I mean, these spreads were totally, supposed to be for the newbies, but I'm sorry, I can't help myself. It's like when I start doing readings, I'm a different person. Please forgive me. If there are any total newbies watching this, please forgive me. But yeah, I mean, I mean, I guess you might say that I'm in love with my job. I totally dig it. But yeah, so the point is, it's all about the feelings, it's all about the emotions, it's all about the the how do you say, the flow, right? She wants to get back in the flow, and she will. Within the next 6 months, things will start looking up. Right now, she's in the process. That's why this card comes up reverse now, right? It's in the process of manifesting. She's gonna get there. She's becoming the Empress. That's kind of what it's saying. Okay, so all right. Romance. Now let's get into say a job related questions. Let's say you have a job and you want to see how things will work out. I know I'm just doing past, present, future readings, but they're simple right now. Okay, but let's do another spread then. Say situation, hurdle, guidance. Yeah, let's do that. Let's say you are already having a job and you want to see, because right now things aren't going so well, obviously. That's why you're here for a reading. So you want to see how to figure it out. So, yes, so job, situation, the hurdle, and the guidance, which will help you overcome that hurdle. Okay. So now, now I'm gonna do it totally for the newbies. Please, God, let me control myself. Situation. Ooh, Three of Swords, right? Clearly, newbie or not, you know what this is, right? This is heartbreak. This is three swords stuck in the heart. This is something genuinely painful. And if you really even want to go into the keywords, this one of the words that, that's stuck in my head here with this picture is betrayal. You've suffered some really painful betrayal at work, and that's probably why you're here. This is the situation. Maybe someone took your project. Maybe someone, literally stabbed you in the back, at work, and you're like, what, why, how? You're really suffering. You're in pain, right? And the hurdle is the Death card. It is so painful that you want to quit your job. Now remember, death is not about someone actually dying. Death is about endings, yes. So in terms of that, it could very well say, because you're connecting the dots here, right? Death is about change. It's a gradual process of change. It's also an ending, a wrapping things up kind of an ending. So you were so badly hurt that you want to leave this job and start something new, or go to obviously a new job. So that's what's on your mind. You really want to leave. It's essentially, it's a choice. You want to figure out whether you want to stay or go, right? And the guidance here is the Six of Pentacles, which is again balance between the giving and the taking. I would say, right, if the money is right, go to the new job. That's what I would genuinely say here, because in the picture you see this merchant and he's giving money to the people who are needing it, but at the same time he's doing that in a very balanced manner. That is the energy of this card, the balance between the giving and the taking. So this hurt that you have encountered at your workplace, which makes you want to sort of quit the job completely, the cards are saying this is very justified. This is very, very justified. And so if you are going, then instead of trying to come to terms with it or dealing with it, the cards say accept it, move on, look for a job that pays you probably a little bit more or equal, right? Because this is all about money. If you find a job that pays you even a little bit more or equal to what you're getting paid now, move. Don't stay there. End the story. Even though this is the hurdle, this hurdle is coming up positive for me in that sense, because this doesn't deserve someone who's so loyal, so genuine like you. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's the story. Oh, wow. Sometimes the cards just come up and there's a story to be told. Okay. So how about a question, a job related, work related question? Come on, question. Okay. So let's say there is someone, let's say our previous person, he's now going to start a job search, and he's like, we've already seen the guidance, and now he went in, he did a few interviews, he's got a few offers. So he wants to know, which job should I take? Let's say he's got 2 offers, or let's say he's got 3 offers. So job number 1, job number 2, job number 3. Okay, and the guidance, right? Can I fit this in one frame? Yes, I can. So the guidance will tell him which job will work for him, or how to choose, really. So what's the story with job number 1, job number 2, and job number 3, and the guidance here? So job number 1, if he does accept that, again, 4 of Wands is all about harmony. All right, reverse 4 of Wands, there will be no harmony, there will be no joy. So if he does go there to job number 1, if he does accept job number 1, he might not necessarily find the kind of harmonious work environment that he is looking for. Simple, don't make it complicated. Job number 2, star reversed. Although job number 2 seems to be, very attractive, the star card always kind of pulls you. It is attractive, but it may not necessarily be something that you will enjoy doing, is what I'm sensing here. So job number 3, 2 of Wands. Now there is an interesting twist in the tale. 2 of Wands, this job might provide you with a certain base, right? But it will not necessarily be, see, as it stands, all these 3 jobs, none of them, at least the 2 previous ones, don't look very positive. If you go here, I guess this is the most stable, the most secure. Remember, the previous reading did say this one, right? The 6 of Pentacles, where you're like, this is going to be something where you get paid equal, maybe a little bit more than what you get paid in a previous job. So now here you will have that platform, you will have that base, but you will be like, I know I want more. This is the I want more card. This is where he's like, what's my next step, what should I do? So ultimately I think job number 3 might give you that space, but let's see what the guidance is saying. See, 6 of Wands reversed. 6 of Wands is the card of leadership, right? This is the card where this guy takes charge of the whole team and leads them towards success. So it is also a victory card. In the reverse, the card obviously says, there's not going to be a chance of leadership, and maybe not necessarily a victory in the picture. So if you look at all of this, all the 3 job options, it kind of says the same thing, but in a different way. None of those jobs are really going to cut it, but job number 3 has the highest possibility of giving you that firm base, some stability, while you really, really look for that job which gives you the most genuine sort of satisfaction. Because when you're dealing with this energy of the 3 of Swords and the Death card there, you don't want to stay. You really don't have any inclination to stick around. But these 2 are going to be worse, or, if not better. They're not going to be bad or worse than what the previous job was. It's not going to be something you'll enjoy doing. At least this one will give you some firm base before you kind of move on to the next level. If you want to make a quick move, option 3 sounds good, but then you're not going to stick around there any longer than you have to as well. It's just something to tide things over while you look for the job you want to get, or the job you want to go for. So that's the guidance card right there. There's no good choice here. Just take what you get, which will make you feel better, and go with it. So this is a free flow spread, but yeah, that's kind of how it will work out. Woo! Okay, so I hope you enjoyed these examples. I hope they made sense to you, because I like to do all these readings. Sometimes I just get all excited and forget that maybe I'm doing a question for people who may not necessarily know the tarot. But you get the gist. The pictures tell their own story. So to recap, if you do go to a website and pull a reading from that website, and you get all these meanings in front of the card's image, and you're like, which one applies to me? Don't worry, there is a system you can use to decipher that complicated mess and literally hone in on which meaning applies to you. To recap, the system is: step one, what is the core meaning of that card? You can get that from Googling, and you will find a list of keywords. So you can say, for example, Six of Pentacles, keywords. Just Google that, and you'll get a list of keywords, right? And take that as the core meaning. Okay. Then step two, what is the spread position? Look at those keywords, look at that core meaning. In light of that spread position, interpret accordingly. And then step three, what is the question? Take the meaning you've arrived at step two, and then again apply the question context to it, and boom, you've got the meaning that was meant for you for your question. All right. So I really hope that you benefit from this, and I hope that this makes sense to you, and I hope that the examples have kind of helped you see how to do that. And if you did, give this video a thumbs up. Tell me what your adventures were in the comment section below. If it's a very deeply personal reading, you can even email me and tell me how you interpreted it. I'm cool with that. I get a lot of emails like that. I love deciphering readings. So go right ahead, drop me an email. I'm cool with that. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go right ahead, subscribe to my channel. Okay, so, and I'm all over the place: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I keep doing all these social media things occasionally. So please follow me on whichever social media platform you like. I think I'll be there. And that's that. Yeah, I will see you again in another video pretty soon. Until then, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. Bye!